Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. We pick up yesterday's episode of Days of Our Lives with Ava consoling a guilt-ridden Brady about Rachel. Ava claims that she holds herself partially accountable for Rachel when they sit down, but Brady reassures her that she is not. Kristen concurs that Rachel ought to have been in treatment years ago. He will have to sit her down again when she gets home and inform her that her parents will never be able to reconcile. After preparing dinner for Brady, Ava shares with him her story of running away from home when she was Rachel's age. Despite the fact that Ava was his pride and pleasure, her father used to abuse her mother. However, she returned back home that same evening, which only made her mother's situation worse. Until the day he took her life. Days at a seat in the restaurant, Ava leans over and speaks to Brady. Brady apologizes and thanks her for sharing, but Ava returns the favor by telling him to eat and rest. After thanking Ava, Brady packs up the supper and leaves. Back home, Kristen laments Rachel's disappearance to herself and complains about the police's lack of action. She won't wait around for assistance for his family, just as Stefano wouldn't. EJ enters the chamber, notices her, and quickly rushes over to stop her as she begins to descend into the tunnels. She yells at him and says she's searching the tunnels, but EJ tells her he's looked everywhere and there's no evidence of Raph, no sign of Rachel down there, and yanks her out. By telling his sister that he put father's eyes and ears on the case and that he has a prize out, he tries to reassure Kristen. EJ informs Kristen that whether by blood or not, she and Rachel are Demoros. According to Kristen, her mother would be disappointed to learn how much Rachel resembles Stefano, and she hopes Rachel becomes more like Blake. As they converse in the DiMera living room, Daisy J looks down at Kristen with a small pout and a worried brow. Although EJ claims to have heard that Rachel Blake was somewhat of a badass, she didn't do a very good job of ensuring that. Kristen tells EJ about her mother's history, which is further detailed here. It's unfortunate that her mother passed away so long ago. Rachel never had the opportunity to see Armid or meet her. She heard Kristen's account of events, but they were sanitized. When she tries to show EJ her scrapbook of the Blakes, it is gone. EJ assures her that Harold simply misplaced it, but she becomes sad because that's all she has left of her mother. At the Horton residence, Chad instructs the Spectator to feature Rachel's disappearance on the main page. JJ then shows up to inform Chad about the hospital's false alarm. She couldn't have gone very far on foot and with less than $100 in cash, but there are no other leads. Nothing, no tips. However, Chad has some good news. Kat has returned to Salem and may be hired as Marlena's secretary. JJ merely gives a nod. He then insists on knowing how Chad is protecting Kat in light of everything she has done. Gabby is thrown back at JJ by Chad for what she did to Julie and the family. He expects the same thing from JJ as he doesn't tell him who to hang out with. Days sitting on the Horton couch, Chad and JJ lean over and speak to Julie with a small smile. More, we compile a list of potential stalkers, pictures. JJ throws Chad under the bus with Kat as soon as Julie enters. Julie, however, tells him that is irrelevant because nothing is important to her now. As Julie pours herself some tea, the boys worry about her. When she comes back, Chad sits down to urge her to speak with Marlena. Darling, it won't bring Doug back, will it? There's no need to worry, she will be all right in time. However, Chad and JJ maintain that Doug would want her to be content and speak with Marlena. They need her to look after herself because they adore her. Reluctantly, Julie says she might give Marlena a call tomorrow. Rather, Chad advises her to get dressed so he may take her over. Following a phone check-in between Marlena and Belle back at her office, Kat knocks on the doctor's door. She inquires as to whether Marlena has discussed hiring Kat as her assistant with Kayla, but she hasn't. Her attention has been focused on Rachel's disappearance. When they sit down to catch up, Marlena claims that although Rachel fled, she is resourceful. However, threats are still present. Days when Julie and Chad enter Marlena's office, they have an awkward sidelong glance. After apologizing to Kat, she explains that she has been busy attempting to contact John. Marlena briefly discusses John's past, including his time as the pawn, Roman, and John. Kat makes an effort to keep up, but she points out that while it sounds similar to her experience, she wasn't an innocent victim like they were. Marlena admits to Kat that she was a victim of her situation. Marlena claims that Chad is incredibly forgiving. However, Kat informs her that her feelings for him are not that simple. They surfaced when she was posing as Abigail, and she is making every effort to suppress those emotions. The three of them look at each other uneasily as Chad and Julie knock on the door. Rachel from Days displays the stuffed snake Seymour. Rachel remarks that it's not what she had envisioned in the rundown room before hearing a sound. To her enjoyment, Rachel uses Seymour to intimidate a woman in white as she leaves. After asking Rachel for her name, the woman compliments her on how lovely it is. After that, Rachel tells her about her mother, Kristen, and her mother's mother, Rachel, who once resided here. The woman asks what she's doing there and nods. When the woman inquires as to why she fled her home, Rachel responds that there is a lengthy backstory. "All I have is time," she is informed. Following Rachel's explanation, the woman informs the child that Ava is a serious intruder and should be taken out of the way permanently to avoid interfering with Rachel's family. And, "Rachel, my love, we're going to do that together." After reviewing the strategy, they show Rachel how to operate her princess phone. This is a rotary phone from the past. Calling Ava, Rachel requests assistance and instructs her to come right now. Naturally, Ava concurs and notes Rachel's whereabouts. After telling Rachel that she did a terrific job, the woman questions how she found out about Armid because nobody visits this place anymore. Days as the woman in white converses with Rachel in the deserted Armid room, Rachel displays her plush snake, Seymour. Rachel asks the woman what her name is and pulls out the Blake scrapbook. "Just give me a call." The lady in white. Ava tries phoning Brady back at the bistro, but he doesn't pick up, so she leaves a voicemail with Rachel's location and the statement that she's on her way. It turns out that Brady was taking a shower, but he managed to get out just in time to see JJ at the door to check in. Brady's phone is on the table with a voicemail, although he claims not to have heard anything. In the last moments of the broadcast, Julie sits down and tells Marlena that she simply got sick of fighting with Chad and didn't want to come. Although Marlena regrets Kat's presence when Julie arrived, she believes this could be useful. Julie assures her that although Marlena assists everyone, she is not ill. She is terribly, terribly sad since she recently lost the love of her life. Don't you think that's just typical? Julie can't get Doug out of her head. Dreams came true because of their love. She begins to cry since therapy would be pointless because all she has left are memories. Marlena tells her pal that she will never be a waste of time. At least they could try a session. Julie nods and takes a shaky gulp of water. Kat apologizes to Julie for disturbing